throw away everything you've ever learned about driving because in Asia, there are a completely new set of rules for road users, and your driving style will need to alter if you're to survive. It may seem to be dramatic to say that driving in Asia requires a different skill set from those used to European, American or Australian roads, because after all, you're still just driving a vehicle. However, it is true. Driving standards across most of the region are not what you'd be used to, and in a lot of developing Asian countries, using the roads is frankly scary. Of course, there are some notable exceptions, and driving conditions in both Japan and Singapore are generally safe, with high quality roads, and drivers are sensible as observing rules and accidents are rare. The same can't be said about other countries, most notably India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, the Philippines and China. I've personally driven across India and live in Thailand, so I've had first-hand experience as well as visiting a lot of Asia on my travels. I've driven around London for many years, so I'm no shrinking violet when it comes to navigating city streets in heavy traffic, but there are certain places that would make my heart race if I were to get behind the wheel, Vietnam and Cambodia being a couple of them. Over time, familiarity eases the initial fears, but it doesn't lessen the dangers that you may be involved in a serious or even fatal accident. Local drivers appear to have an unwavering belief that their gods will protect them and often drive at speed and with reckless abandon, truly believing that a higher presence is watching over them as they cause havoc on the roads. Let's just look at statistics from my home country of the UK, which is by no means the safest place to drive in. But generally, the standards are good. Last year, there were 1,695 reported fatalities on the road, which is declining overall. Cambodia had 1,709 during the same period, which is an increase of 14%. On the face of it, not too dissimilar. So where is the concern? Well, when you consider that the UK has around 41 million licensed vehicles and Cambodia has around 1 million cars and 6 million motorcycles, these comparisons become more alarming. Cambodia is by no means the worst example. Thailand reported nearly 15,000 road deaths last year, and in previous years this figure has regularly exceeded 20,000. Whilst it is a much larger country, India reports 1.5 million road deaths a year. Yes, that's right, 1.5 million. The most common cause of accidents in India is human error. This includes reckless driving, overspeeding, driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and not following the traffic rules and signals. I think these reasons have validity across the globe. I would also add, in India, bus and truck drivers are simply crazy. Road conditions are generally very poor, with gigantic craters in the road and massive unmarked speed bumps. Routine vehicle maintenance is often neglected, and you have the added regular distraction of avoiding animals in the road. A lot of Asia has a road hierarchy based upon the size of your vehicle. Smaller vehicles are expected just to stay out of the way of trucks and buses. Motorcycles concede to every other road user except at junctions or in congestion where they squeeze into impossibly tight gaps to advance to the front of the queue. Pedestrians and cyclists are at the bottom of the ladder. Many tourists hire a motorcycle or scooter to get around, often without the correct international driving permit alongside their home driving licence or adequate medical cover. This is a foolhardy approach, especially if you have limited or no previous experience driving a similar vehicle in the country. Don't take these unnecessary risks, just hire a local taxi driver as your guide for the day. My advice would be to avoid driving in an unfamiliar Asian country altogether. However, if you do need, then remember this guidance. Treat every other road user as a potential idiot, because they often are. Keep to speed limits or a sensible speed for the road conditions, even if those around you are not. If someone sounds their horn, it doesn't mean they're angry, is often the case in Western Europe, but they're warning you, they're approaching and intend to overtake you. If you're stopped by the police, then have your passport and driving licence available. You may not even be aware that you've committed an offence. Turn off the engine and whatever happens, smile and remain calm. If you've done nothing seriously wrong, you'll often get sent on your way with an on-the-spot fine payable in cash to the officer. Have some small bills available to pay him and go on your way with a polite thank you and keep smiling. Don't raise your voice, get angry, show disrespect, refuse to pay a small fine or be obstructive, otherwise you may spend the night in a police cell or even worse. Driving in Asia should be avoided wherever possible. However, if you decide to drive, then please follow my basic guidance in this video. Stay safe, don't take unnecessary risks, and pray that your God will protect you.